Welcome back to the channel, and thanks a lot for being here. Today, we're going to talk about some of the subtle and lesser known signs of depression you never heard of. So let's get started. Researchers in a 2013 study discovered that people with depression couldn't identify objects on a screen that were identical or similar to an object that had seen previously. According to researchers, this suggests that memory can be diminished as a result of depression. Researchers in a 2015 study came to a similar conclusion. They concluded that depression might cause short-term memory loss. The idea that those with depression all have one similarly dreary personality is false. Depression is more than just a mood. Those who live with depression have learned to alter their apparent moods and may even be some of the most seemingly happy people that you know. Those struggling with depression may do anything they can to deter people from knowing they're depressed. They may feel guilty, ashamed, weak, or embarrassed and start overcompensating for their depression by doing anything to mask their depressive symptoms to appear okay or happy. Someone who appears very outgoing and who is seen laughing within a crowd of people may be crippled with thoughts of sadness, emptiness, and desperation. Perfectionism and depression have been long connected to each other, and research studies have underlined the association for years. Having all or nothing, rigid and exceptionally high or unrealistic expectations are all symptoms of perfectionism and can all contribute to depression. Perfectionism in depression tends to belie the idea that others will only love and accept someone if they're perfect. Self-esteem is what seems to mediate the link between perfectionism and depression, since perfectionists often think that they must be perfect to be acceptable, both to peers and themselves. To perfectionists, to make a mistake is a sign of a personal defect or flaw, rather than the fact that it's human to make mistakes and that we all make mistakes. To counter the self-blame, fear of failure, and shame that comes with this, practicing self-acceptance and compassion are essential. That may be very hard to learn to do on your own. You might need the help of a capable psychologist. This is a critical one because the toggle can be a big clue that something more serious is going on. When you're depressed, a happy event can take you out of it and things can seem fine for a little while, but the depression typically returns once you acclimate to the event. An interesting symptom of depression that may not be well known is when someone with depression is temporarily lifted out of that state due to a positive event, opportunity, or interpersonal connection. The depression is real and doesn't go away with a positive experience, but it seems briefly alleviated later to return. Think of it as toggling between being depressed and then not feeling depressed, given outside circumstances. Anyone who has experienced depression understands the burden it can be. It can also be a burden for those closest to them. Sometimes, when you let someone in enough to see the struggles you have, they walk the other way. Though it's hard to blame these people for leaving, it creates a serious feeling of abandonment for those with depression. It forges a need for secrecy out of fear of the recession of those they love. There is nothing more heartbreaking than finding out your ugliest layer of self is too ugly for someone you love to handle. Sometimes, the disorder can emerge as irritability or anger when some part of you is at a loss internally or feeling helpless or hopeless. It's easy to lash out. Experiencing irritability, hostility, anger, and being sensitive to rejection are all common symptoms when depressed. Less well known is the fact that not only is irritability a sign of depression, but that it often signals a more severe level of depression. Hostility and irritability are also linked to a higher likelihood of having other mental illness like anxiety. Other emotions such as sadness, shame, or helplessness often underlie the irritability, but irritability is what shows up on the surface. If you're noticing that you're very short-tempered or yelling at your spouse or kids a lot, or otherwise lashing out, take some time to think about what emotions might be driving that behavior. If you want to know more about human psychology and mental health, you can watch these other great videos. You'll also find the link to them in the description. Be sure to smash the like button and share your thoughts in the comment section. Please subscribe if you want more content like this and press the bell icon as well. See you in the next video.